Welcome back, guys. It's Kyle Lim here at Power Dental Group. I'm joined on episode 2 of Power Talks with my good friend and also co-worker, Alex Lopez. Insert clapping. His story is crazy on how he got here, his history, his background, and kind of what transpired for him to be able to finally be a part of Power Dental Group. So I'll let him give himself a formal introduction.
Name's Alex Lopez. Been here almost a year now.
Almost a year, yeah.
Almost a year now, yeah. Went by quick. Before this, I was Miguel's. I don't know, you guys interviewed Miguel already. I was his neighbor. He's been talking about Kyle had to feel like the longest and stuff, like since he's been talking about how he started. Like all of a sudden, he just like, yeah, I'm selling instruments now. I'm working with this guy that I used to coach before. And I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. Yeah, we just started talking and he's like, yeah, we're trying to build something great here, and he's like, I want to be part of this. I'm like, at that time I was working for Regal, and at that time, I was fine there. I was there for about like almost 10 years, and I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, whatever, mix. Like, we'll see what's going on. You crazy, like you're doing one thing, another thing. Years went by. Yeah, I left my company for just try to like a few things changes in our life. So I'm like, I went out of work for a while, and then Mick's like, hey, come on by, come check out Kyle, come see what he's about, see what his company's about. Ever since then, I had a couple meetings with Kyle, with Migs, and love what I heard, and I'm like, I like this. I like where they're going. I love where Kyle's like passion is right now. I love his thirst for making his company great. And it reminded me a lot of my old job. Like we were like a small company too. But everybody was held accountable for what they did. Everybody had to come in there, wear like many hats. Like nobody did like just one job at that place, and nobody was like, even our bosses. I'm too good and I don't touch that. I'm the boss. I'm not supposed to do that. And I saw that a lot with Kyle here. Like Kyle, he's ready to do anything. He's been in the shop grinding with the tips. So I came in here as the production manager here. I had a little background in warehouse management, so I kind of like brought that along with me here to kind of like help out over here, like see what I could help out as far as like putting my inputs and seeing what I could do as far as making this company grow a little bit more. It's been a year now since I've been here. It's been, we had good times, rough times, but all in all, it's been great. It's nice seeing where we came from when I started to where we are now to what we're planning to do as far as the next year, which is we're planning to do like big things here.
100%. What I really loved was when I first kind of heard about his experience from Miguel, he obviously had a really, really good impact in the business he was a part of. I think the other part to that was he was there for quite some time, right? He was there for about 10 years. And, for circumstances, I view it as a blessing, right? He might have viewed it as a different way at that moment in time, but, he ended up having to leave that business just because it was his time, right? In that moment in time where, he just, had to deal with some other things and focus on other things in his life. So going back to what he was saying, after he had that experience and, where we were at Power Dental kind of in the same tandem, we were actively trying to find somebody inside of the manufacturing space. And we needed somebody who could be kind of this rock, this pillar, someone who could be almost like a carbon copy of who we were, but in the production space. I think the biggest thing that I've realized over my tenure here, over the 4 years that I've been a part of Power Dental, has really been the fact of a lot of my workers are Spanish speaking. It's a great thing. I know a good amount of Spanish now after working with them, being a part of their team and really trying to help elevate this thing. But what I realized in any workplace, in any career that I've ever had, when you don't have the ability to be able to express yourself in the way that you really want to wholeheartedly, right, 100%.
No, yeah, for sure.
That becomes what the? Why is Raul Alejandro on here? The biggest thing that we realized was like when you don't have the ability to be able to communicate wholeheartedly on what you actually feel or think, it really is a big detriment to culture and company culture. And it's really a big detriment to like the workplace, in my opinion.
No, for sure.
Like imagine in your normal day-to-day, in your normal workplace, for whoever's watching, like you can't even express how you feel. You can't talk about the problems if there are any problems because no one's there to be able to help express that for you. So at the time where we were at, we were actively looking for somebody. And it took, I would say, 3-ish years to really solidify and say that, okay, we're at this point now in the company where we actually need somebody to be able to be ahead of manufacturing, who has the same leadership, the same drive, but also can be someone who can help the vocal leader for the people in the shop and production. Again, by God's grace, dude, like these are just these coincidences that happen. They're not just coincidences anymore. And a lot of this type of stuff has happened over the 4 years that I've been here. Miguel tells me like, yo, bro, my next door neighbor, Lopez, he's been around me. Like he's seen my kids grow up. Like we've been neighbors for a long time. He used to work heavily in manufacturing, and he's maybe ready to to potentially take a leap, but he didn't even know, and at the time Lopez didn't even know like what he was going to get himself into, or if this was even a position that he actually wanted to do, get involved with. So like he had mentioned, we had brought him over for a couple conversations and really vetted him out, and from day one, like I realized like, yeah, bro, like this is the fucking guy. Lopez is our fucking guy.
Vice versa, yeah. I mean, from what you guys always showed me, I mean, I'm like, no, this is perfect. This is right my neck of the woods. You know, I feel like I can really help you guys out. And like Kyle said, I mean, a lot of it is like having that voice for the shop. You know, like I think that communication for them to have somebody there, like to be constantly there with them, like, hey, any concerns, you know, there's always going to be somebody there who's going to listen to you, you know,
100%.
Who's always going to be there for you, and no matter what, you know, and just I think that has kind of like changed the culture here a lot too. I mean, for that, I mean, they changed like the whole work ethic. Like everything is just like the best in the people, which I feel like it brings out the best in production.
100%.
Like we always had, I mean, you guys always had great people in here. It's just, you know, how can you bring the best out of them?
100%.
While they're here, you know?
In the past, when my father was a part of the business and he was the owner, you know, I think he did a really good job of getting it to a certain point where people were still very heavily invested in the business and they cared about it. And it's super impressive, honestly, that this guy who barely knew any English ends up learning English, primary language is Korean, and then he has Spanish-speaking workers we can't like fully communicate with, but still somehow gets it done. He's made his career happen over the course of 25 years-ish. You know, I just think about that. I'm like, how did he do it? Like, how's it even possible? Like, how is there not bigger issues? So, you know, kudos to my pops, but it's just one of those things that since day one, you know, we've always talked about that our biggest principles, number one is people. And, you know, I think that with the people here, they're the reason why we can do what we do. And,
for sure.
You know, from a leadership down perspective, and I always talk about this, if the leaders in the company aren't portraying or don't have the qualities or not showing off the attributes that we want in the people here from top down, then this shit will never change. And I think from day one, I was very clear about the way that I wanted to do things. And it was really different from the way that my dad wanted to. My dad was a very hard-nosed, first-generation immigrant worker who kind of came in and did his thing. But I think during the time that we both saw that, and both of our parents, like, we started to realize, like, man, the aspect of the people is so important.
It is. It is. Know? Like I said, just to bring out the best in them, you know? And they see that. I mean, they see the way you are, the way, I mean, we're bringing something different than what they were used to, you know?
100%.
And I think that's why they're bought in and they trust us.
100%.
They trust us, you know? And they tell me all that all the time. Like, no, like, Kyle wants something done. Yeah, we're going to get it done for him. Like, we'll figure it out, you know? We'll get it done for him because they know you're different from what they're used to, you know? Like, they see that you really care about these people and you really care about the shop and you really genuinely care about, like, their lives, you know? Like, just
100%.
This is what I love about this company, you know? Nobody's on top of everybody. Nobody's 100%. Better than everybody else. Like, no, I'm better than you. I can't do this. No, that's how I am.
100%.
And that's how everybody else here is here. And that's what I love about this, you know? And everybody's willing to chip in whenever we're short somebody. Next man up. What can we do?
100%. 100%.
And I think that's what makes us greatest for being such a small company. We need those kind of people.
100%.
That's what we need. Those few people we do have. That's the kind of people we need here. Because if we don't, oh my God.
You've seen the strain that a small company goes through when they're building too. Because at your previous company, you had that same sort of process and progress. And I think what's cool is we're doing the same thing here in a different sort of industry, in a different space, but we're doing it on our own terms, right? And like I say all the time, the cool part about this is that we've all been kind of learning this together, right? And really trying to get the hang of things together. And the past year has been a huge sort of testament to that. Like Lopez has zero knowledge of dentistry before he came into this, and now he knows all about like elevators, forceps, scalers, carats, manufacturing protocols, process that we have, and he's here to take that thing to the next level. He's the guy that we really need in that space, and it was by God's grace, again, the fact that we have somebody who is fluent in Spanish, who is a strong foundational leader, who has the same principles that we do, and it's not random the fact that he's here. I can't thank him enough for being the type of guy he is and the work that he does here. Like he's one of those silent killers, man. He just goes through, does the work, he goes above and beyond, and doesn't expect anything in return, which is very, very rare in today's day and age, I feel like. And I feel like a lot of people here are the same way.
Oh yeah, because they care about this company.
100%.
They honestly do care about this company. And
100%.
We preach them, like told them, like, hey, we're trying to make something big here.
100%.
And I think everybody sees that and they see the effort we're putting into it. And I feel like they're like, yeah, you know what? No, I see what you guys are doing. And they see the change.
Thing, man.
And I think that's the thing. Like, they see the change. Like, we have these weekly meetings, and Kyle's always bringing up all this stuff that we're doing now. How much bigger we're getting, and all these clientels we're getting now and all this exposure we're getting, and they see that, and,
100%.
which is great that and it's nice that you share that with everybody else, not just, okay, you're sharing that with me or Mix, you share that with everybody.
100%.
You know, like all our achievements, little achievements that we do, everybody knows about it. The production team, from everybody from down to the last new person that just came in, we all are in this, like, which is great. And it's very rare to see that in a company where everybody's kind of like bought into what we're trying to do, because that's very, very, very rare. Like, you're always going to have a few bad seeds and stuff like that. But we changed everything in here. Like, whoever wasn't bought in the beginning, they're bought in now.
Yeah, 100%.
They're bought in now, you know?
100%, bro. And like, again, it's one of those where from day one, top down, like, I think we've always had that same mentality of like, look, we got to show them with our actions and what we're doing to be able to really prove to them, like, look, like the stuff that we're saying, we're not just saying to say it, and we're not going to say it without showing, you know, action behind it. Like, the words words have value, and you know, the actions are even more valuable than that. So, you know, I think that we, in everybody that we've worked with and that has that type of role here, or anybody even in the shop or in the office, everybody is the same mentality of, we're all in this thing together. We actually have this glimpse of this big goal that we can really actually achieve, and now it's up to us to be able to fulfill that destiny. You know?
And we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. You know,
100%.
We've got the right people to do it, and we're gonna do it.
100%.
There's no doubt about it. Just when.
Exactly. Just fucking
Just fucking when. Yeah. How soon?
Exactly. And I think that's the best part, man. Like, we all know that the end goal of what we're gonna achieve is gonna happen. Like you just said, man, it's just a matter of when. And like I always say, if you have pure intention, fucking work ethic, and you got a great product and service, man, like there's nothing that can stop you.
Nope.
You know, from all the things that we've done, we've always done it in the right way. We've never skipped on steps, or we've never, you know, done things just because that's easier, cheaper, better, whatever it might be in that way. Like, we're always talking about how can we get, you know, more effective, doing things in the right way, even if it takes longer, right? We're gonna do this thing, and again, in like 4 or 5 years time, like, we're gonna be able to look back on these conversations and say like, holy shit, like,
watch us.
Yeah, watch us, and look what we fucking did. You know what I'm saying? You know, Alex Lopez, my head of manufacturing, another big key player of the reason why Power Dental can operate. He's a big reason why behind the scenes, your orders and everything that's going out has the right tips, the right lengths, the right quality, and he's the reason why our manufacturing production in general can go through the way that it does. He doesn't come on the socials too often. We're gonna get him more on here because he's got a beautiful face and great style as well. But yeah, man, he's a guy behind the scenes that really gets a lot of shit done. So a huge part of Power Dental. Super appreciative of him, and I'm glad that you can finally meet him in person. So Alex Lopez, baby, let's go.
Let's go.
Appreciate you, bro. That's a wrap.